All right, guys, so the Baltimore Ravens continue to make great moves. Another outstanding coaching hire, plus the Baltimore Ravens being linked to a free agent that could be a lot of fun for the Ravens defense. We also have a projected contract extension for Ronnie Stanley, an updated list of compensatory picks, and much more, man. So welcome into another episode of Ravens Reports. It's your guy Noah here with For the Flock. As always, bringing you guys our top 5 news reports and storylines coming out of our Baltimore Ravens today. At number 1, let's start off right with the big news. The Baltimore Ravens are hiring Donald D'Alessio as their defensive backs coach. This is a coach that is 33 years old and has spent the prior 4 seasons with the Kansas City Chiefs, helping coach up their safeties as the safeties coach. This is a guy who has coached up Justin Reed, Brian Cook, and has been a part of a coaching staff with one of the best defenses and the best pass defenses in the NFL over the last few years. He obviously got to work under Steve Spagnuolo, who's an absolute mastermind for 4 years. So this is an absolute home run, slam dunk type of signing, coaching hire for the Baltimore Ravens. Don't forget, the Baltimore Ravens have parted way with Chris Hewitt, the secondary coach, and Doug Mallory. They have now brought in Chuck Pagano, who was a Baltimore Ravens defensive coordinator, a head coach for the Colts, an absolute defensive mastermind. He was hired as the senior secondary coach, and then Donald D'Alessio was hired as the defensive backs coach. So, 2 guys to come in and help the back end. The Baltimore Ravens were one of the worst teams in allowing big plays, allowing 20-plus yard plays. They gave up a lot, especially in the first half. But now I'm telling you, man, I'm just telling you right now, this defense is going to be so much better because you got the second year of Zach Orr. And you guys remember, think back with me for 2 seconds. The first year of Mike Macdonald, the first half of the season, there was some major growing pains where Mike Macdonald had some bad performances, some busts in the secondary. I remember the Dolphins throwing for like 500 yards. It was not good the first half. He went on to lock it in the second half of the season. Then year 2, he was lights out, had the best defense in football, and then was hired as a Seahawks head coach. Zach Orr could be in a similar mold here. He had struggles the first half of the season. The second half of the season, one of the best defenses in the NFL. And don't forget, we also have Dean Pease still on the staff as a advisor. Chuck Pagano now added into the secondary. And then a nice new, fresh young mind, Donald D'Alessio. And then we also got the new linebackers coach that we brought in a few weeks ago as well. So a lot of new young coaching staff. I'm really excited about what this defense, and most of the changes coming on defense. Offense is pretty much, kind of staying right where it's at because they were one of the best offenses in football. The 3rd offense in NFL history in yards per play. That was the type of offensive performance we had. Now, I think this defense is going to get close to that level to match the offense and be really, really good in 2025. And I also think it's going to bring the Ravens to just a higher ceiling of wins this year where they're going to be competing for the number 1 seed to host an AFC championship in 2025. Now, what's really interesting at number 2 is that the Baltimore Ravens have been clear that they're looking for another safety, okay, because Kyle Hamilton and Adarius Washington are amazing. They were great back there in the back end. However, the best year that Kyle Hamilton probably ever had was in 2023 whenever he was with Mike Macdonald, and he got to be the all-around chess piece, blitzer, dime linebacker, free safety, strong safety, move them all around, slot corner, covering tight ends and slot receivers. Kyle Hamilton around the line of scrimmage is really fun. So I think the Ravens, they need safety depth in general. They lost Geno Stone in free agency last year. They had to part ways with Eddie Jackson. Marcus Williams is about to be released with the post-June designation because we know how that worked out. So the Ravens need some more depth at safety. I think they're looking for another starter next to Darius Washington to let Kyle Hamilton be the all-around playmaker where he can just be like the general, the captain of the defense and move around and make plays. And what's fun is Justin Reed of the Kansas City Chiefs, one of the best young safeties in the NFL right now, is a free agent. And Donald D'Alessio, who the Ravens just hired, happened to be his safeties coach when he was in Kansas City. So people are linking the two here. The Ravens need a safety. There's familiarity with the new coaching hire. Justin Reed would be a massive addition to the defense to add Super Bowl caliber experience in the back end. I mean, imagine a secondary with Kyle Hamilton, Justin Reed, or Darius Washington, Nate Wiggins, and Marlon Humphrey, with Roquan Smith in the middle, and then Nnamdi Madubuike and Travis Jones and Pierce and Owe up front. Like, the defense could absolutely be lights out, Nastyville type of defense. But that's not all. Here's a list of some other free agent safeties if the Ravens wanted to bring in another safety. Justin Reed, like we said. Justin Simmons. He'll be 32 years old, but he's still got some good football left. Very instinctive, very smart football player. Gets his hands on a lot of footballs. 9 years of experience. Justin Reed has 7 years of experience. Marcus Epps of Las Vegas. Xavier Woods. Jeremy Chin. Julian Blackmon. Quandre Diggs. Javon Holland is a big name. Trevon Moehrig. I've seen him linked to the Baltimore Ravens as well. So, Moehrig, Javon Holland, Jeremy Chin, he's a really nice player. Justin Reed, Justin Simmons. I could see the Ravens pursuing one of these guys in free agency to come and boost and bolster their secondary. So let me know in the comment section below if any of those names are intriguing to you. At number 3, the Ravens are going to have a lot of draft capital. Here's an update on the projected compensatory picks the Ravens should get this year. They're slated to get 11 picks, for this year's draft. The compensatory picks are as follows. So they're supposed to get a 4th-round back for losing Patrick Queen to Pittsburgh. Still can't believe he went to Pittsburgh, man. A 5th-round pick for Jadeveon Clowney. He parted ways to go be back close to home, Carolina. And then 2 6th-round picks for Geno Stone and Kevin Zeitler, who went to the Bengals and to the Lions. So the Ravens projected to get 4 compensatory picks, another 4 picks added to their arsenal. The Ravens got some ammunition to either make trades to bring in guys on their roster, to trade up if they wanted to acquire a higher graded player on their board for the draft, or to just bring in a bunch of guys, a bunch of young talent, and see who shakes out. However, I don't know if the Ravens are going to want to add 11 players to their roster that are rookies, because the Ravens have their roster is pretty set. I mean, they got a couple holes, some free agents they're going to have to fill, but I don't know if they're going to need 11 of those rookies to come in on the roster, but we will see. It'll be very interesting. At number 4, Ronnie Stanley, he's one of the biggest question marks for the offseason. It's like, what do you do at left tackle? Because it's like Ronnie Stanley, had a ton of injury history, was on looked like he was on the decline of his career. Then he was finally healthy for a year or two, and then started all of the games for the Ravens this year. Had one of his best years as a pro, almost close to what he was doing in 2019, right after he signed that big contract. So Ronnie Stanley and the Ravens essentially made his contract. He was supposed to be under contract this year again, but the Ravens approached him and wanted to make it a 1-year, hit the market free agent prove it deal, and essentially took a year off of his deal. And I wonder if they're regretting that, because Ronnie Stanley had a heck of a year and is a big part of the offense, helping to keep Lamar Jackson clean, and also opened up some nice running lanes for Derrick Henry. So Ronnie Stanley, he's projected to get a 2-year, $41.3 million contract in free agency based off his Spotrac calculated market value. They're a website that, projects contracts based off performance. And I don't know if the Ravens are going to be able to cough up $20 million per year for Ronnie Stanley, because they don't even have that much salary cap right now. Of course, they could use void years. They could do it past 2 years. They could try to finagle away. They could push money to future years as well, so that way it's not a big cap hit on this year. But that's just kind of kicking the can down the road. Let me know in the comments, what do you do with Ronnie Stanley? Do you keep him? Do you go young? Do you move Roger Rosengarten over to left tackle? Do you get a guy in the draft and just kind of hope for the best in that type of situation? Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below for Ronnie Stanley, because it's a massive, massive decision that they're going to have to make within the next few weeks here. Because Ronnie Stanley is going to be hitting free agency in about, 30 days? I think it's like March 15th whenever the free agency frenzy starts. So we're getting really close to free agency, man. So make sure you got your subscribe and notification bell on so you don't miss any Ravens news or content, man. At number 5, we're going to be starting mock drafts here soon. And I just want to hear the top position of need and any guys that you may like in the comment section below. I've started to study a few prospects, wide receivers, offensive linemen, some pass rushers. I really like some of the pass rushers in this year's draft class. I think the Ravens could possibly add one in the first round. I got my eyes on a couple of guys that I think could come in and make a difference and help boost the pass rush to cause more disruption, specifically for the Ravens defense in the playoffs, man. But I love you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Like I said, man, hit the like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you in the next video.
When he wasn't looking, he ran me over.